Okay, guys. Now I want to show you this one here.
I know why, because this is important to you.
This
one.
it is really sentimental. So a couple of weeks back, we went to the Real Motor Masters at Knox.
Yep.
And unbeknownst to me, Lewis had a car to give me, and I didn't realize, and I didn't twig even on the day. And he said, "Hey, Brett, I've got a car for you." He said, "But you have to promise me to run it at the bash." And it wasn't complete as far as electronics and everything like that. It was just a rolling chassis. It had a body and everything like that on it. But yeah, it had a few bits and pieces, which, I mean, they definitely fitted and they were lossy parts, but it wasn't like the car I used to race. So I actually did a deal with the devil, with Rudy himself.
Oh, Rudolph Riscala.
And I sourced another car, and actually it is identical to the car I used to race back in the day. Now, what makes this thing very special from Lewis is not only the fact of the model of the car and like the very specific, like the XX Series 1, but it is actually the very same chassis that I raced in 1995.
The exact one.
The exact one. And I can tell that by the sticker over here. And I didn't realize it at first. I had a sneaking suspicion, but I thought I was being silly, right?
Yeah.
Because even then, I wouldn't have thought a sticker would survive on a buggy for 30 years. That said, that hasn't been raced for 30 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that sticker there. And that come about because Lewis and I were attending the 1995 New South Wales State Championship. I think it was hosted by Hornsby. I want to say Hornsby. And I'd only had a stadium truck at the time. No, I was only like, 15 years old. I had a stadium truck. So stadium trucks run on Saturday, two-wheel drives run on Sunday. And then Lewis said, well, why don't you use some of my spares and we'll make you a buggy Saturday night after racing. So that's why it was called, because the stadium truck chassis is a extra long chassis that never came in buggy form. So we cobbled together, we took my truck apart, basically took the arms and shock towers off and then screwed on some buggy spares. We modified a body because the body is like that much longer. Yeah, longer. And then, yeah, we had a buggy to race.
It was a double X limo.
Double X limo, yeah, Malibu.
Yeah.
We aptly named it because it's about that much longer than any other buggy.
It would have made it nice to drive, I reckon.
Well, it was very low traction track. So was it an advantage or not? I don't know, because generally you have a shorter wheelbase in low traction. But nonetheless, it got me to the track and got me in the top 10 in two-wheel drive mod. So I was pretty happy with that at the New South Wales State titles back in the day. And that was the story behind this buggy.
And now it lives again.
Now it lives again. So it's been reborn. So if we go back on the overhead, so you can see, I'm going to point out some features here that were very unique to my buggy, which are also on this. So it's got MIP branded CVDs, which was an optional extra. Lunsford titanium turnbuckles.
And Lunsford no longer exists, sadly.
They no longer exist, sadly. And we had these tie rod style ball ends. And these were not a factory part either. These were aftermarket. These come from Greg Collins. Because if you stacked hard enough, the original ones would pop off, especially when you were 15 and you had an old car.
And you just...
That's right. So I had these on it. So it's all very true, exactly the same. Same with the shocks and the springs and stuff. It's all very much the same. If we come up to the front, again, we've got shocks and springs, Lunsford titanium turnbuckles, exactly the same sort of specification of a car that I would have raced, the car that I would have raced. Now, what is different, of course, is it has been fitted with modern electronics. Because last year at the Vintage Bash, I was persistent on running brush motors, and it was a nightmare. It wasn't a nightmare, but I can see why we love brushless motors so much. So it does have the Orca Blitzstream 3 in it.
It's a 21.5?
21.5, yoinked straight out of the RS 2.0. So that is a beautiful thing. So that's sitting in there very nice. And that is paired to an Orca OE1 what do they call it? Yeah. That's the Orca OE1 Worlds.
Something.
World WLE, World Limited Edition speed controller. So it's got new software and hardware within. Got the Orca
Bluetooth connector.
Again from the RS 2.0. And sitting up front here, I've got a Coyote Shorty because that's what I have for the dogfighter as well. So there's no point putting different batteries. And a Futaba receiver, all mated to just a common garden variety servo.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a Yokomo servo when that finally when I cut it and fit and put it in. But this buggy is ready to go. So
I bet you're hanging to run this.
I am.
Because it's going to be all the feels, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because it is exactly even down to the chassis, which is really odd, right? Nearly 30 years, 29 years later. So it's going to be pretty cool. I still got to get some stickers from MCAI in Canada. I do have, I've got 3 body shells, pre-painted body shells. None of them are my colors, but back then I never really had colors.
Yeah.
I either bought something from Lewis, said, Lewis, can you paint these for me? Or I did a very simple rattle can, blue and orange, like a blue with an orange tear, because that's what my capabilities were.
And they haven't changed, right?
Not a great deal. No, I've got an airbrush now, but still crap.
Yeah, but you don't need to because you got me.
Well, yeah. Well, that's right. And if there's a hero build to do or something, you're luckily enough to usually put your hand up and run-of-the-mill stuff just gets Tony P did the last one for me, didn't he?
He did a fine job on your RS.
We've got a bloody great team of people that want to help out.
Yeah, because you're just useless at it. So
it's really good. That. Yeah, so Lewis, like I said, Lewis parted ways with this, and with the help of Rudy, Aaron, no doubt I'm going to raid him for parts sooner or later, and the vintage community.
That's assuming Aaron comes back from Queensland.
Yeah, well, it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
Syrian, sorry, I cannot leave. How did I leave out Syrian?
If it wasn't for Suze, you wouldn't have all the tools.
Because I've got the tools and these period correct wheels. So these wheels are very unique to Lossie. I call it Mark 1. These were XX Mark 1 wheels. Which most people use the later Star style.
Yeah.
That was like 96
And for those
onwards.
that aren't familiar with it, there's a disc that goes on the outside of that.
Which I do have for the rear, but not for the front. So I left them off. Yeah. But I do intend to try hell or high water to get some discs for it, because I used to love them painted. Yeah. And then you would have a big splash of color on the car too.
I think that'd be relatively easy to make anyway.
Or the front's, it's got like
slightly inset. Yeah.
It's like inset near the nut.
Okay.
So the back one is, pretty much a squashed flat. Yeah. But these ones here do have a little bit of molding. But anyway, so huge thank you to Lewis and the vintage community. And I'm really looking forward to getting this on track in the next couple of weeks.
I haven't seen you this interested in a car in a long time.
Yeah, that's right. That said, I do have an all-new Yokomo SO 3.0,
which is coming up next.
So that's going to get all the latest gear from Coyote in it. That's going to get the modified. It's going to get the Crest X, and that's going to be like I'll call it a kilo car. That'll be a high traction car. Because if I go out to Knox in the next couple of months to be with the old bangers, just to do laps for the vintage bash, right? So but that's really cool. I love it. I love that, and I couldn't have done it without it.